Ask YouTube is changing YouTube search forever, and you're not going to want to miss this one. Because if you don't know, YouTube just had a huge event called Google I/O, Google being the parent company of YouTube. And what we're going to see here today will change how we use search for a long time. So I don't want to waste any time. If you haven't seen this, let's go ahead and bring it in. So here is Ask YouTube, not to be confused with Ask Studio, similar naming, but a different feature. Now to get there, you would first go back. I started on my channel page. This is an experimental feature. If you don't know what an experimental feature is, do not worry. I am here to help you with that. So on YouTube, there's something called youtube.com/new. I'll put this in the chat for anyone who is interested. And this is where, if you are a premium user, YouTube does a lot of experiments. So I think it's super important that we take that moment to just look at, how to get there. If you're just joining, want to make sure we're doing everything we can to do, well, what we are here to do. So discover a new way to search on YouTube. Key important thing to note, it's available until June 8th, 2026. If you're watching this in the future, it may have changed. Available on desktop for premium users 18 plus in the United States, searching in English. So if you're watching this in another country, I apologize. Shout outs to Beanie, shout outs to Doug, shout outs to other people who, a lot of times report on these things. You also need to be a premium user. Now, I'm not 100% sure if that's full YouTube premium, premium light, but it is a thing. Now to get there, you turn on the feature here, and then it's going to, experiment with a new way to search that feels more like a conversation. Users can ask complex questions in their own words. So let's talk about, why is YouTube making this change? Well, if I'm being brutal and if I'm being honest, a lot of why I think YouTube is making this change is because people are searching using Gemini. They're searching using chatbots. They're searching using large language models, also known as AI. And I think this is YouTube's answer to that. Let's also look at the competition. A lot of Gen Z and some of the Gen Alpha and Gen Betas, maybe not Gen Beta, but Gen Alpha, are looking on other platforms, not just YouTube. So YouTube has to be competitive. And when they are doing things like this and they are trying to be competitive, you've got to be aware of these kind of changes that they're making. Because if they are making changes like this, it's super important on how you should be thinking about it. Because if YouTube's thinking this way, so too should we as creatives, right? Because if you aren't, it can mean a lot of change. Now I see that we have Living with Parkinson's in the chat. And hey, if there's something you want me to search while I'm going on here, and if you have a question, as always, we have ways that you can get your questions answered here. Just want to make sure we take this moment, but we're diving in. So look, I think that this is an interesting tool. I think that ultimately we'll have to let time tell, but let's go ahead and bring up Ask Studio. So Ask Studio, here we are. First, YouTube search will still be here. It was not going anywhere. I got here by just clicking. When you click on search now, one of the first things, and I'll actually zoom in just a little bit for you. One of the first things you'll notice is that Ask YouTube any question, get a guided answer, right? So tutorial for drawing a realistic eye. I know we have Kathy Fit. I know you do art. I know we have some artists here. Compare popular graphic design tools. Well, I talk a lot about Adobe Express. That seems to make sense for me. Tutorial for editing podcasts. Creative uses for mason jars around the house. How to make authentic. Some of these seem very intentional. Some of them I would not really search for. So we're just going to start this off very broad. And we're going to look up. What is something? We can just look up how to grow on YouTube. Let's see. Traditional search is this. Another way to access it is through Ask Studio there, or as we go back, Ask Studio here. So there's multiple ways, and just in case you didn't see that, I'll move that. You can do Ask Studio here, or go to all and Ask Studio over here. So there's lots of different ways to do this. So now what it's doing is it's going to be pulling conversational based results. And the first thing you may notice, how to grow on YouTube in 2026. It's more conversation. It's driven by viewer satisfaction rather than just watch time. That is accurate. The algorithm has evolved to prioritize how much value an engagement viewer gets from a video, often measured through survey and repeat views. Success now requires a mix of niche authority, high retention story. This is, I mean, obviously it's YouTube. I expect it to be good. But then one thing I want you to notice, and this is something I clocked right away, and I'll go full screen here so you can get everything. Notice something that very closely here. Chapters. If you can't see it, right here is a YouTube chapter. If I hover over here, some of them have chapters, some of them don't, but a lot of them have chapters. Chapter. They're pulling from our descriptions. Chapters. And notice, it's giving us multiple sources. Optimize your channel settings. It's giving us different ways to do this. I think it's important because when we are doing this, we want to make sure that we're looking at all the different ways that this could work. So leverage 2016 algorithm updates, the niche branding strategy, smart keywords, and then it's giving you step by step, but it's from multiple different channels. So again, this is where it's important that we really make it clear. And I wish this was bigger and I wish this was larger, and I'll scream it until I'm tired. AI can make mistakes, so double check it. Okay, AI can make mistakes. Now, it's telling you advanced strategies. It's trying to help you here. So one thing I could ask is, it says ask a follow-up question. Again, this is supposed to be more conversational. So I could ask, do YouTube tags matter at all? And maybe this is something a new user would look up. And what you should know if you're using this feature, if you're experimenting with it, is look at how it's picking answers. Transcript. Right here. In 2026, YouTube tags play a minimal role in video discovery compared to titles, thumbnails, and descriptions. I would update this to be transcripts. While aren't the primary driver of views, they act as a context anchor. Not a really great explanation in my opinion. That's what they do. Context anchor. This is why I don't think this tool is replacing me. Just means that it's here to restate, support what your video idea and title is about. And then it says official stance on tags. It brings a video. It has very specific YouTube videos. It has different creators. It has quick tips, which is what I've noticed to be more about shorts. And then it says, would you like to learn more about YouTube SEO? And the answer is yes, but unfortunately, there's not really a way I can easily do that at the time of the stream. It might change, but I would. Let's say this is the question I have next. It's what I want to learn. I think it's important that we go through this because as we do, we're going to learn just a bit more and more on how they do things. So I want to zoom out just a bit so we can see it all. Go back to 100%. Master YouTube SEO in 2026. So the future of video discovery, again, it says viewer satisfaction, intent-driven discovery, semantic SEO. And again, I don't like this because it gives me a word, but it gives me no explanation until under, and then it's still, I believe, high retention and positive sentiment signals are now the strongest. These are still industry jargon terms. So a lot of times what I find with this is I would like it to break it down for me. And it could just be it's pulling from the transcript. And again, look at this. It is coming from a YouTube chapters. If you are not using YouTube chapters, this is one of the strongest signs for you to start. Use natural language in your descriptions. This is a little bit better. With new search filters, shorts now require the same metadata care as long form. Not bad. Then it gives you multiple different sources. Think Media, Yuri, website learners. But my thing is, this is a SEO framework from different people who may not actually agree with one another. So it's important that you do deeper research. Watch some of these videos. But again, ready to, like, this should be another one. But if I want a new search, I click new search. These seem to be very broad and random. Short history of the printing press invention. I wouldn't necessarily search for that. Plan a family camping trip for beginners. I'm assuming these are examples to try to get your mind to going. How to host a successful dinner party. I mean, maybe, but I feel like one thing YouTube is trying to answer here, and again, this is someone who likes innovation. We have something for this. It's called Google. So I get why they're using Ask Studio. If you didn't know, YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. So them creating Ask Studio to be a more conversational AI is not accidental. It's more purposeful because they understand that people aren't searching the way they used to. They're using chatbots, they're using AI, they're using large language models. What does that mean for us as creators? That when we make content, we need to be answering questions. We can use captions, we can use chapters, we can use titles, we can use descriptions, and they help show up. Because there's some danger. What if you don't show up for yourself? That is a real question we're going to have to see. So I could ask a question about, let's see. If you guys have a question in chat, please also let's explore. We're here to have fun, dang it. And I'm having a great time. Thank you everyone coming through. Had some really interesting things here. So maybe it is, who is, the creator of Minecraft, right? Maybe this is a history one and it's got history elements. It's got multiple ways that this could go. So this is an example, and it says the original creator. It's one of those situations where it says the original creator, Marcus Notch Persons, Legacy, Jens Bergensten. I don't know this super well, so this would be, if you're, really big into, Minecraft creation, this might be interesting. Again, at any time you can get there. Larry in chat asking, I don't see it. How do you get there? You have to have YouTube Premium. You go to youtube.com/new, and then you are able to activate it if you are on desktop. I know you, Larry. You look on your phone. It's not on phone. It's desktop only. But also, it is, again, pretty simple to get there. youtube.com/new. If you have YouTube Premium, again, only available on desktop. Premium users, you got to be 18 years or older. And it's in US, searching in English. Those are all the things. Now, going back to Ask Studio, if I go into a new search, Larry DIY, who does a lot of DIY, what if I'm looking up, how to stop a saggy door? Will Larry show up? I'm curious because I'm subscribed to Larry. In theory, YouTube should be considering that, as I'm an individual searcher. It may not be, but I'm going to leave a lot of feedback for YouTube here, right? And so we have Fix This House, and it shows similar 5 trips. Yeah, I cannot read today. It is 5 tips and tricks. And now my thing here is, for some of these, I can't really see who's helping me that well. Won't close. Fix This House 4 years ago. A sagging door is typically caused by loose hinge screws, strip screw holes, or misaligned hinges due to the house settling or the weight of the door. Larry, you give me an idea. How accurate is that, as you have actually talked about this topic? And according to Larry says, that's a nice thumbnail on the sagging door. Yeah, it is. But my thing is, sometimes, I know this is beta, it won't let me ask a follow-up, which is interesting. So Larry says that he would say that's a good description. See, this is why it's great to have people who know what they're doing when it comes to these things. Because look, I know YouTube very well. And thanks to Larry's video, if you haven't seen it, if you got a saggy door, check out Home Rapid Repair. He also has other things that you can do, DIY, do it yourself. Just past 42,000 subscribers. Don't think I didn't see that. Congratulations, Larry. But my thing is, it's pretty interesting how it does this. Now, again, traditional search will still exist. What I will say, we can see Larry's video here. Interior door, no more sagging door. And Larry's video almost at 1 million views, by the way. But it didn't show up, and I'm subscribed to him. So I'm curious on how they're doing that. Now, if you notice, because I've done some other things here, it's giving me some suggestions based on my history, on my viewing habits. So also it's saying maybe I want to learn how to unclog a stubborn kitchen sink. Browse critically acclaimed independent films. Good night. How am I? Scatha, I am great. Great to see you. We are going over the new Ask Studio, or not Ask Studio, Ask YouTube. I see. This is why the Ask name could be confusing. But I know that Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced might be something that Scatha, who is a KDCC member, if you do not know, Can Do Creators Community. It is our free communities. Links in the description to join. But he's big into Assassin's Creed, so maybe we should look up the new Assassin's Creed game, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, in the new AI-powered YouTube search called Ask Studio. Now it is pulling in information. I hope to see some Scath. I am also subscribed to him. If I was YouTube, that is something, if you're really trying to personalize search, if I'm subscribed to a channel and it makes sense to pull in that person, I want to see the people I'm subscribed to. I want to support them. Like, if they have an answer to a topic I have, how delightful, other than the people I'm subscribed to. Again, I'm going to go full screen. I know I have people from YouTube who watch this. If I'm using the brand new Ask Studio search feature that's using AI to personalize my search recommendations, please pull in my subscription feed into consideration. I subscribe to those people for a reason. If they have a video that answers what I'm searching for, I would love to see that as a result. If you're watching this and are a creator, let me know what you think about that idea. I think it makes a lot of sense, and it's one of those things that I would like to see. So another thing I would say is we really have to make sure that when we're doing stuff that, one, it seems to be taking a while, but again, this is in beta. We'll go out to all again. Ask YouTube about it. There we go. Got it to load. Great to see you, Tech Fariana. We are going through the brand new Ask Studio, having a lot of fun doing so. So, Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. Again, it has the official Assassin's Creed. This makes sense considering it. Drew Cav, great to see you as well, is a ground-up remake of the 2013 classic. Oh, 2013 and the word classic made me feel old. I remember when it was new. Interesting how much detail it does give. I will also say I'm pretty sure it comes out on July 9th, but just to always be sure, yep, July 9th. Well, that could also be another AI overview. We're talking overview. Yes, confirming. We're having AIs talk to AI. Dead internet theory might be alive and well. Now, what I'm worried about is how is it pulling? Now, here's the thing. It's good. It says it's cross-gen 7th and 8th, but the original, but this is kind of confusing. Visual and gameplay overhaul, it's 9th gen only. It's on Anvil Shadows tech, ray tracing according to this. And then new features, and here's the things. Revamped stealth and combat. Seamless exploration. And notice, if you don't have chapters, Scatha, every single answer here has been pulled from a YouTube chapter. The biggest advice I have, and I've been bullish on chapters, I've said we should be doing chapters, you should be doing captions. The brand new Ask Studio search is highly prioritizing YouTube captions and YouTube chapters. Chapters more than captions. Your YouTube chapters should be searchable. They should answer a question, because if we're going to be having conversations with YouTube search, if that's how YouTube possibly sees the future, make your chapters the answer to searchable questions. I see people say gameplay. No, more specific, Assassin's Creed gameplay. You can't leave these to be very broad. You can't leave them be broad. Be as specific as you can. And Scatha says that they have captions, but not chapters. Put in those chapters, I beg of you, because that's where they're pulling. In fact, they pulled this answer from chapters, this answer from chapters, not this one, but they're pulling this one from chapters. They're pulling a lot from chapters. Would you like to see more about the remake? Yes. How much will it cost? Might be something that, again, if we're having a conversation, why did it bring it up here? How much will it cost? Hello, there we are. All right, well, it is in beta. Let's not forget. But I'm curious if I refresh this, because we're now trying again, how it will change as we have reloaded. It's really struggling. Maybe they're like, whoa, he's using it more than we expected. Now, interesting. It gave me different results this time. And my question is it always going to be different? Is it trying to please me? And maybe it thought last time I wasn't pleased. I do wish it gave me an idea of who these shorts creators were. I'm going to say how much will it cost. See if I can get this feature to work. Finally, we can ask it a question and it comes back with an answer. Now, not super smart. No. Assassin's Creed Black Flag resynced. Let's see if I can get it to go where I want. But that even then, I know this is early in development. I'm only going to give it so much. But again, Gemini is owned by Google, same as Ask Studio. So come on. Everything we know about resynced, official remake. So it is telling me everything. And these are some topics if you haven't covered Scatha. And if you have, go back. Because you got to think. Visuals, movement, combat, exploration, new islands, ray trace reflections. All these things are things people might be looking for. And YouTube is looking in our content to pull the answers. Now, am I interested in more details? What does Scatha think? I'm curious if it's smart enough to know I'm subbed to him. I'm assuming it's using Gemini Ike because it is, again, coming from Google. So I would say yes. Oh, it didn't get it correctly. I am very curious on this. It went everywhere but Satha, it said. It did find it. It did find him. But interesting, it didn't pull in, what does Scatha think? I have to really spell it out. Maybe it's the contextual. What does Scatha think of AC Black Flag resynced? Does the AI take the for Scatha? That's a great question. And we can explore that. Ike asked, does it do that? I don't know. But it seems to not. It figured it out after I spelt it out. So are these all yours, Scatha? You might know more than me. I can't really tell based on these, but it does say about the creator. Here's the thing. I've said this forever. Have your channel name in the description. Scatha is a Finnish YouTube creator specializing in Assassin's Creed guides, news, and secrets. He is a known Ubisoft partner who provides deep dives. This is based on your content, what you tell it. If you don't say it, if you don't describe it, if you don't do it, YouTube's going to guess. It's going to guess and I don't know if I trust that. I'm also... Summer promotional clips, so hard to tell. That is true. And what I worry about with that is let's say I click this. We're going to click it. It is Scatha's video. That's great. Is this also Scatha's video? It is. Okay, it seems to all be yours. But it is interesting to see how they're looking at search. And if you didn't if you're joining youtube.com/new, they're also experimenting with a custom feed, which is users can build feeds to curate videos for a specific routine or interest. Tap your custom feed. They're really experimenting with some of this personalization for all of us. So really want to make sure that we focus on that, because ultimately, anytime they do an experiment like this, we need to be aware of why they're experimenting. What are they doing this for? How are they considering everything? Because this all matters. I would also say, if you have a question for anything we're going over here, if you want to know more about Ask Studio, if there's something you want me to ask, please ask with #question. So yeah, we're going to go back to, I keep saying Ask Studio, Ask YouTube. See, this is the problem with the Ask nomenclature. All right, we're back to over here. Interesting. I wonder if it's smart enough. Are YouTube tags dead? I just made a video about this. Would it recommend me my own content? That's what we're here to find out. We're here to explore. We're here to go deep. It is... Current state of YouTube tags in 2026. AI transcripts. YouTube now officially indexes spoken content in your video. That is correct. Minimal impact, official documentation, and creator studies confirm tags play minimal roles. And it is pulling from our stream not too long ago. Modern SEO. It does give, it says titles, it gives little breakdowns. Drives click-through rate extremely high. Highest time investment. Descriptions, semantic context. Again, these are some where they really could go deeper, but it will recommend, I guess, the best answer, even if it is your own. But it is interesting because are YouTube tags dead? That was a very specific one that I think, as we look at it, some people said tags are dead a long time ago. Some people say they're right now. So, but if we go to Ask Studio, I would love a way to where I could reset this a little easier. So now it's still going broad, but we'll see what it can do. Give me some inspiration from creative nail art designs. Let's see what it does. Give me creative inspiration for YouTube videos. What would it do if I ask YouTube Studio that? Ask YouTube. Stop adding in Studio, Andrew. See, even it's so new, I'm still Freudian slipping that up. And now it's telling me high growth content niches, effective ideation strategies. So this is interesting. So build a repurposing habit, apply idea stacking, utilize the inspiration tab. And it's giving you some quick inspiration of what you could do. So again, any of these kind of long-term things or these older ones, you should definitely, if it's a basic question, be the answer to it. Like, think about those basic questions in your niche. Is there a question that you get asked all the time? Make it a short. Make it a long form video. Make it a podcast. Make content about it. Because with this kind of search, with conversational based search, which people use longer, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing ads in search. Let's be real. People sometimes will chat with these chatbots and these large language models for long times. There might be ads in this. Who knows? Of course, now it's a premium feature. We are now getting into speculative territory, but I wouldn't put it past them. So a lot of this is interesting. Right here. For the chapter heads up, in the past they were nice to add, but didn't mean jack. No, they are all, no, they have always mattered, Scatha. That's a common misconception. People thought they didn't matter. They do. If YouTube adds a new feature, it always matters. Chapters mattered for Google search, external. Now they're making them a little bit more relevant internal, and they've been relevant in classic search for a while. In fact, let's show it off because I want to dispel this myth. If you look here, this is a shout outs to Kevin Colby. His chapters, it was already showing it here. Now, Scatha says they didn't see any change in their analytics. My question is, how well optimized were your YouTube chapters for search, for discovery? Because that's another thing I see is people are like, well, I have chapters and they're so vague that no way could they be that helpful. And that's not on you. And you would see it in terms of, is your external higher for videos with chapters? Go back and look at all those videos. Really look. If you're seeing more from chatbots, which I've seen a huge uptick, that I don't have any clue, says Scabba. But look, chapters matter. They've mattered for a while. And I really want to make sure I say that. Now, another thing I will say as we're looking through this is it's also, a lot of what we know of search has been based on viewer behaviors. It's been based on a lot of things, right? So now if I type in A, we can see all these things that come up. What happens if you search your own name? Ask YouTube Studio about myself. Who is Andrew Can? Now, Scatha, I will say, oh God, this exact phrase, it clocked me. How we grew our channel, 10 steps. Well, how I grew my business. It says I'm a YouTube strategist and creator educator, prominent YouTube strategist, filmmaker, and educator with over 13 years. That is very true. I am known for my former role at TubeBuddy, where he helped grow their channel, co-founder of the Can Do Creators community. All of this is in my about, so that is important, as I always said. Essential YouTube growth tutorials, and it's giving some of my professional background, actually, which I find interesting. And it's also giving some other notable Andrew Can. Sorry, Dr. Andrew Can. I know we've never had a conversation. I know that it must be, really interesting, but it is curious to see. And I appreciate that they have that. And again, we can see I'm live to the 7 of you watching. Thank you. And if you're watching this in the replay, I really appreciate you too. Now, I will say, Scatha, That's why you're here. But that's YouTube's design. Here's this, but we're not going to tell you how to use it. They will in time, and they technically told you how to use it in their big keynote. But you're here. You're in our community, which if anything, if you are not aware, our community is called KDCC. It's the Can Do Creators Community. And so this is a really great opportunity for us to talk about it. So this is our community, free to join, always going to be free. We have quite a lot. We have a dedicated method. We have a system. We talk about news. We talk about all of this. You can see some people. Our free version is always free. We do have a membership, but that's not the point. We have blogs that are free, where recently we broke down impressions click-through rate. We're going to make a blog about this topic, which is Ask YouTube, right? And so here's the thing. When it comes to YouTube updates, you should be following multiple sources. YouTube creators, you should follow the official YouTube sources. Follow creators you know and trust. Ike and I are so grateful that we are some of the people that you trust over at Can Do Creators. We know, we see, we appreciate you. We have thousands of members. And so the reality of the situation is that when it comes to new YouTube features, I see from Scatha as well, or is it Scatha? Honestly, communication clear, one, is something YouTube needs to improve. It's very hard for YouTube to clearly communicate something that doesn't get misconstrued, that if they say something, people don't try to game. There are billions with a B of creators and people on this platform. So anything they tell us, anything they do can be misconstrued. It can be changed. It can cause problems. So I say that with the understanding that I feel you, trust me. But I love learning about this. It's something I've done for decades now. And now that Ask Studio is out and we can look at how they're looking at search and how they're looking at changes, here's what I would tell you. Ask Studio is the next line of evolution of YouTube updates. We went from a time where we'd rarely get YouTube updates to now, holy, are we getting updates? It's insane. It's kind of the opposite. I feel like these days it might be a little hard to keep up. But now I have a question. What if I want to learn, let's go to basics. How to live stream. What does it show? What would it recommend under Ask Studio? Or Ask YouTube. I keep saying studio. It's Ask YouTube. Huh. How to live stream in 2026. A comprehensive guide. Quick start, essential hardware. It's giving you some budget. I will say Live Streaming Pro. Shout out to Luria. It's a really great resource here. Activate live features, verify your account, configure your encoder. Interesting that these are some of what it recommends first. I like how it says Twitch, PC. I like how it's not just keeping it to YouTube. Interesting to see. Growth strategies for new streamers. Content strategy first, the 0 viewer fix. This is where I wish, what type of live stream are you planning? It's still a little buggy, but it's getting better. I could also ask a more specific question, live stream for free, and that would give me different results. How do I live stream for free? These are things people will look up for free, those common added searches you should be looking into as well. How to go live on major platforms. How to live stream for free, getting started with free streaming software. Okay, it's telling you OBS, Streamlabs, things like that. It's telling you for different, StreamYard comes in. There are different ones it's showing. But these are interesting things to see because the more it does, that is one of those situations where I want to see how it handles it. So, are you using Ask YouTube or Ask Studio? There are two separate features because we love the Ask naming. So are you using the new Ask YouTube or the old Ask Studio inside of YouTube Studio there, Home Rapid Repair? So it did hide subscribe channels under a different tab, like why, who asked this? They did this because they look at user behavior all the time. Even though people subscribe, a lot of times they get overwhelmed by who they're subscribed to. I don't like that fact, but it is human psychology. As they make changes, as someone who's dealt with millions of users and have seen similar minor things during my time at TubeBuddy. It unfortunately is more common than you'd think, Scatha. Just because we like something as an individual doesn't mean the masses like it the same way, unfortunately. Now, can you ask it why YouTube promote full AI and corporate content more than human made? I don't necessarily know if that's true. I find that for me personally, it doesn't, but I also know it's based on predictive engines, it's based on like what people engage with. I know that it depends, it's very personalized these days, even search, but I can look it up. So why does YouTube promote full AI content and corporation content more than human made? And I will say there are humans in those corporations as someone who's worked for them. So I'll humor it, but I have to say I don't know if I fully agree with this. Just because it feels like it doesn't mean it's 100%. We'll see what YouTube says. We'll see what it tries to say anyway. Sorry, I can't help with that. Tries to. All right, not helping the claim. Not helping the claim. We'll try one more. We'll try once more just to see. Showing results for why does promote. We'll see. Human is not a little stretch. There are a lot of people working at corporations. I came from the corporate world, so I can answer that. But it will not answer this one. I'm curious what it will answer. Why does YouTube... why am I shadow banned is something I'm sure, even though shadow banning is not a real thing, I'm curious what it would say to that, if it even answers that. No, but it won't. Interesting. There are things it won't answer. I wish it would tell you why, but it is interesting what it will and won't answer. Again, it's in beta, it's early. I don't agree with those two things, and look, I'll go full screen. You're probably not shadow banned. Most people don't understand that impressions are YouTube sharing out its content. However, if you're getting a lot of impressions from YouTube, you are not shadow banned. I've seen people who said they're shadow banned, but they've had like 60,000 YouTube impressions, but their click-through rate is like 0.9%. You're not shadow banned. Your title and thumbnail are not connecting, and there's nothing more YouTube can do for you. So it's very interesting. And Ike has an interesting point. Maybe it's because of the why. I will try to remove that. See if we can get some answers there. So let's ask YouTube. Let's get rid of the why. We're going to ask YouTube. It can't help. What does it mean if I have 60,000 impressions and a 0.9% CTR? Curious what it'll say. If it'll say anything. It's thinking this time. Aha! What the number means for your content. With 60,000 impressions and a 0.9% CTR click-through rate, your content has reached a significant audience, but only a small fraction is choosing to engage. Total clicks is about 540. Reach versus interest. Your content is being showed widely, but the packaging, your thumbnail and title, is not effectively converting. That is all correct. Algorithmic signal. A CTR below 2% often signals to the YouTube algorithm. I would say, people say replace algorithm with audience. YouTube does anyway. That the video may not be relevant to the audience it's being shown to, which can eventually limit further reach. I'm happy they do mention this, but again, AI can be wrong. And then they give steps to improve your CTR, benchmarking your performance, but it doesn't tell you how to get more impressions. And then, you know, if they're stopping giving you impressions from what it says here, if it's being shown to the wrong people, it can eventually limit further reach. YouTube has got other priorities where, as creators, Here's something that when I learned this, it's hard to learn, but it is true. As YouTube creators, we want YouTube to work the way we want it to work, not the way it actually does. We want it to prioritize every video we upload to try to make it work. And that's just not how it works. It's trying to make our viewers have the best experience possible because YouTube makes money. They keep coming back. And I have to say, most of the time in my experience, I find that our content isn't performing usually because of a bad thumbnail, more so than the actual video content. And if you do have a lot of impressions and you do have a good click-through rate, but then you see low views, then you should check your audience retention. I've been on this platform 13 years. Most of the people who think they're being suppressed are not. They're usually just underperforming thumbnail. I actually worked with someone, who thought they were being suppressed. And then I looked in. They were getting more impressions than they ever were before, but they changed their content. And they weren't being suppressed. They changed what the audience came to them for. So that's a harder one, because if you change from a creator standpoint, that's not what it is. But this is why this is something he says, and I love this one. Larry, aka Home Rapid Repair. I had one old video I was researching the other day at 50% CTR. I had only received 2 impressions that day. That's why it's not just click-through rate. It is called impressions click-through rate. Because, Larry, that means the 2 people it showed, 1 clicked through, 1 did not. Impressions click-through rate is important. If you only get 1 impression, that person clicks through, you could have 100% click-through rate. But that's bad because you reached 1 person. In Larry's case, you reached 2 people, 1 of them clicked through. Now, I do see we have OCD and Anxiety, who said my channel is getting about half the subscribers a day as it did a few months ago. I'm not sure what's changed. I would tell you, look at your impressions, look at your traffic sources. What are you making now versus what are you making then? Also, keep in mind that some content has seasonality. For example, in the new year, a lot of people work on their health, whether that's mental, physical, etc. We are in the second part of the year. Sometimes those trends do matter for content like yours. And I've seen it. I've dealt with some people who run therapy-based channels, and they always see a huge uptick around Q4, Q1, because around the holidays, seasonal depression's real. New year, people want to get right with their health. And sometimes our content has seasonality that we don't necessarily see, but look at Google Trends. Look at the history of the kind of content you're making. Does it tend to trend? Look at the past year of data. Look at your YouTube Trends tab. There's lots of data points we can look at to help answer that specific question. Also, welcome OCD and Anxiety. Although also, I don't want to welcome OCD and Anxiety in terms of the actual thing, but as the creator who joined, yes, I will. I hope that makes sense. Again, Skatha, I can agree to disagree. That's from a brand perspective. You can do all of that in your own brand. You can make a membership right now. Call it anything you want. You can launch your own Patreon, your own website, and do all that. But that just because you want to be able to do something doesn't mean that there might not be, there's still always going to be repercussion for actions. So, and if you want to do something that would be uncensored, mark your content 18 plus. Most creators don't, but that is an option. It also won't get the reach that most creators want. I'm not saying that it's not possible. I'm just saying that there's always been rules. And unfortunately, from someone who's done this a long time, when YouTube was too lenient on the rules, we had apocalypses. We had pressure of the whole platform being shut down. And I know millions of creators who've made a livelihood on YouTube. And so unfortunately, I have to think about it like that because that's how YouTube also has to see it. And I don't necessarily agree. I love that kind of content. I will watch it in appropriate avenues. I watched YouTube poops back in the day. I watch content with swearing in it. A lot of M-rated video games, which are 17 plus here in the United States. It's very difficult. And it is, like I said, it's a bigger conversation. It's easy to say individually. It's hard at the scale of 2 billion people. That is a majority of That's the US population, that's the majority of major countries. It's not that simple. And neither is my explanation. I don't claim to know all the answers. I just have some insight as someone who's done it at a much smaller scale and has seen how hard it is at that scale, yet alone the scale of YouTube. Hopefully that answers that. I will also say, as we're looking at this, I do wonder, how do you feel about the new Ask YouTube search function? Are you excited about it? Are you scared by it? I'm curious because I've seen creators on both sides of the fence here. I've seen some people who think it's great. I see some people who think it's horrible. And I really kind of want to see what you think, because that's what's going to help make this a little bit, a little more interesting for me anyway. Because at the end of the day, anytime YouTube experiments, it tells us a lot about how they see things, tells us a lot about how we can go and how we can grow with it. So I'm always pretty curious when it comes to these things. I think it's an interesting idea. We'll see how YouTube tunes it, says Ike's Yuri Stash. I think it's interesting. I do worry because, again, what is the signal? YouTube cares about that unique viewer's chat, the unique viewer's search, more so than the broad creator. And that's something YouTube's always said. YouTube used to be YouTube broadcast yourself. They got rid of that. The you in YouTube is not you and me, the creators. It's you, the viewer. And that is a change a lot of people don't like. But YouTube has given us more data than ever. YouTube tells us more than they ever have. And people are still unhappy. You're never going to be able to make everyone happy. But what I can tell you is that there are many free communities you can go to learn and grow on YouTube. There are many places these days where people will have honest conversations. And look, you don't have to like everything YouTube's doing. I have some issues with some of the stuff they've done. I've been vocal about it on this channel. I know YouTube watches, and I shout out YouTube. Thank you for watching. But I hope you listen to some of the creatives in chat. I feel from Scatha. Honestly, I feel like YouTube is discouraging diversity of viewers and creator pool, if that makes sense. No, they've had more diversity than ever. They're not. And even to the point of censorship, they've actually lifted a lot of how they censored. Some words don't get you flagged anymore. Like, they're pretty lenient. And to be fair, a lot of games, if they actually followed the ESRB rating, should not be publicly available. I love Grand Theft Auto. Well, that's an M-rated game. And I know they show that broadly. So in a lot of ways, YouTube does a lot that right. And look, I don't disagree that the copyright system has been a huge pain. A lot of creators, as someone who has dealt with Content ID, who has dealt with helping people with that, I don't disagree with you, Scatha. But I will say I do think that overall YouTube, I really don't care about that. But what do you not care about? Ad restricted doesn't mean no ads. Back in the day, it used to mean 0. So look, if you're here to just be upset, there are places to go. I would leave feedback to YouTube. I would tell people that. I'm not saying that that's you, but if you are upset with YouTube, what I will tell you, and I can't tell you how many times I've talked to YouTube directly and they've told me this. So many people are angry, but they never send them feedback. Please, if you're upset with anything YouTube related, handle it rationally. Want to say that first? There have been too many incidents to not say that I do not condone violence. Please handle it rationally. Leave them feedback. It's one of the situations where it is, I know people are passionate about it. Be safe, be respectful, leave feedback. And Matt for the new tool. Fair enough. I don't like it for one main reason, which is I've been using it. I've seen sometimes where it's just straight wrong, but it's confidently wrong, and that's just a problem with AI in general. I also wonder, especially I'm curious actually, on a little less controversial of the subjects, what about cooking content? How to cook a cake. I'll look that up, and then we will go in. Let's go ahead and use Ask YouTube. I see this one has a lot of chapters. Let's ask YouTube. It can't help me with that. Ask YouTube. Come on. We can get this to work, I think. What if I do new search? Oh, come on. Well, I guess I'm opening audition. How to bake a cake. Will you work now? I think I've hit my limit. Ask YouTube is having a hard time right now. Yeah, it might be. Let's refresh. Let's give it a refresh. It seems like it's a no. It won't. I'm just frustrated with YouTube, that's all. Again, talk to them. Most people are surprised how many people actually will listen to you there. Another thing is like, I'm not frustrated with YouTube. So again, I understand that if you want to do all that, no one is stopping you. No one is stopping you from building your own community. No one is stopping you from building your own email list. No one's stopping you from building your own website, your own membership, your own anything. And that will let you make whatever you want. You can make an income. I see millions of creators who do it, and they are not a hold to the YouTube systems. The Try Guys recently did it. I know that a lot of large creators do it. Dropout, aka used to be College Humor, did it. They have stuff there that they couldn't really put on YouTube. And this is interesting from Living the Globe. Thank you for joining. Cooking content has drastically gained viewership because of AI thumbnails. The thumbnails look delish, but when you watch the video, the outcome looks nothing like the thumbnail. Misleading. And that's also something that is real. I've seen similar with, actually, this is a real problem I found out with Airbnbs. Apparently, some renters are using AI to enhance the space. The house does look like that, but the furniture doesn't, and people are getting bamboozled. It's misleading. So this is also, interestingly, a thing even outside of cooking content. When I saw that, it made me go, oh, we really need more AI detection. But it is interesting to see. Overall, I hope you guys know that I'm showing this off because it is a new feature. I'm going to keep exploring with it because it's my job to understand it to help you. And I will say, Scatha, please, please, please share this in the review how to. If you already have, I will go in and look at this. I can only help so much. I also know that you are, I believe you're another language than me. I could be completely wrong. But that is something I would take into consideration as well, is that sometimes, and this is a hard truth, sometimes the video we're making do not have as broad appeal and reach as we wish they did, and they're doing the best they can with how YouTube can serve them. Not saying that's you specifically, Scatha. I'm just saying that I've seen that happen too. But what I haven't seen happen, and what I would encourage everyone to do, is if you have access, if you have YouTube Premium, maybe try a trial. Maybe it's included in that. I'm not 100% sure. Try out Ask YouTube. See how you like it. See if you like it at all. Give them feedback. I know I'm going to. If this is where they're going in the future, we can learn from this. We can learn that chapters have mattered, but they matter even more. Make sure you're describing those chapters accurately. Make sure you have transcripts. If you're wanting to know how to do this for free, there are free transcript tools. Again, they also do use AI, in full disclosure. But I'll make sure to link a video that should be able to help you in terms of how you can use it. Because if we can get better content, if we can get stuff that helps us grow, helps everyone out, that's where the wins come. And that is what I would tell you. So thank you, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the live stream. Thank you so much for watching. Go give Ask Studio a try. And if you haven't already, consider joining the Can Do Creators community or subscribe